Hi, friends. Today, I thought I'd read a book called Fish is Fish, and it's by Leo Lionni. Now, the illustrator did some illustrations that are very much like you would do when you're coloring. So I want you to look at these illustrations, and then I also want you to be looking for a lesson that we might think about learning from this book, something that we could take away from this book. All right? Here's our title page, Fish is Fish by Leo Lionni. At the edge of the woods, there was a pond, and there a minnow and a tadpole swam among the weeds. They were inseparable friends. I love how they're having such a wonderful time in the pond. One morning, the tadpole discovered that during the night, he had grown 2 legs. "Look," he said triumphantly, "look, I am a frog." "Nonsense," said the minnow. "How could you be a frog if only last night you were a little fish just like me?" They argued and argued until finally the tadpole said, "Frogs are frogs and fish is fish, and that's that." In the weeks that followed, the tadpole grew tiny front legs, and his tail got smaller and smaller. Look at Fish's face. Doesn't look very happy about this. I love the beautiful lilies there. Then one fine day, a real frog now, he climbed out of the water and onto the grassy bank. The minnow too had grown and had become a full-fledged fish. He often wondered where his 4-footed friend had gone. But days and weeks went by, and the frog did not return. Then, one day, with a happy splash that shook the weeds, the frog jumped into the pond. "Where have you been?" asked the fish excitedly. "I've been around the world, hopping here and there," said the frog, "and I've seen extraordinary things." "Like what?" asked the fish. "Birds," said the frog mysteriously. "Birds." And he told the fish about the birds who had wings and 2 legs and many, many colors. As the frog talked, his friend saw the birds fly through his mind like large feathered fish. "What else?" asked the fish impatiently. "Cows," said the frog. "Cows. They have 4 legs, horns, eat grass, and carry pink bags of milk." Isn't that funny? How the fish in his mind is everything that he hears about, he thinks it has like a fish body. I think that's quite amazing because he's never seen it. He's never seen a cow. He's never seen a bird. So he has to relate it to something that he knows. "And people," said the frog. "Men, women, children." And he talked and talked until it was dark in the pond. But the pictures in Fish's mind was full of lights and colors and marvelous things, and he couldn't sleep. Ah, if he could only jump about like his friend and see that wonderful world. Now he's singing about all the things that have been described to him. So as the days went by, the frog had gone and the fish just lay there dreaming about birds in flight, grazing cows, and those strange animals all dressed up that his friend called people. One day, he finally decided that come what may, he too must see them. And so with a mighty whack of the tail, he jumped clear out of the water onto the bank. He landed in the dry, warm grass, and there he lay, gasping for air, unable to breathe or to move. Help! He groaned feebly. Oh no. Luckily, the frog, who had been hunting butterflies nearby, saw him and with all his strength pushed him back into the pond. Isn't that nice? How lucky for him that his friend was there. Still stunned, the fish floated for about an instant. Then he breathed deeply, letting the clean, cool water run through his gills. Now he felt weightless again, and with an ever so slight motion of the tail, he could move to and fro, up and down as before. The sun rays reached down within the weeds and gently shifted patches of luminous color. This world was surely the most beautiful of all worlds. He smiled at his friend the frog, who sat watching him from a lily pad. You were right, he said. Fish is fish. And that's the end of the story. So on the back cover it says, Fish wants to be like his friend Frog and see the world. What do you think the lesson was in this book? They both started out as little what the fish thought, fish in the pond. But really, he was a tadpole that turned into a frog. So then we had Fish. Once he heard about Frog's adventures, about people and birds and cows, he was jealous. And he wanted so much to be like that frog. And so he kept thinking about what Frog had seen, thinking about it, until then he tried to enter the world of no water. Well, we know that fish cannot live if they are outside of water because they need that air in the water to breathe. And so once he was pushed back into the pond, he was thankful for where he lived. He no longer desired to be where Frog was. So I think that Fish learned to be happy where he was. He didn't need to have what Frog had in order to be happy. His own home was a beautiful place for him. I hope you've enjoyed this book. I hope you've enjoyed the author, Leo Lionni, and perhaps we'll read some more of those books again. All right, I hope you enjoyed this book. Bye-bye.